everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Violet. And I'm Ribby.
Today we're taking a look at Oneironauts. Or no one's going to pronounce this.
Like 5 different times.
Oneironauts. No one's going to pronounce this correctly, okay? But this is where you go into dreams. Yeah, okay, whatever. It's a party game. So this is designed by the same guy who designed Mysterium, which a lot of people like. I don't think you guys have played that one. But you have played another game he's designed called Detective Club. In which you lie about cards. Yeah, it is similar to that, right?
It's really similar.
What's the #1 game this reminds you of, though?
Detective Club.
Well, what other game?
Dixit.
Yeah, Dixit. So if you've played Dixit or Detective Club or Mysterium or any game that uses cards like that, this is similar. This is a cooperative game. So let's take a look at how it plays. This game has a huge deck of, well, for lack of a better term, we call them Dixit-style cards because that's the game that showed this artwork. But you have all kinds of just really weird and strange pictures. Each player is going to get a hand of 6 of these. Now, what's going to happen is you have this another deck, the same size actually as this deck here, and you're going to reveal the top word from this deck. So let's say the word is beach. So each player in the game is going to look at the hand of cards that they have, and they're going to pick one of these cards that they think best describes that word. So let's say I had these in my hand, 4, 5, 6. I would look at these and go, well, probably not that. Maybe. There's some sand on that one. This one, I could see that picking that one. No, no, no. But each person's going to go through their hand and pick a word that they think matches beach. So everybody will throw a card in the middle. You'll also take one card off the top of the deck. You'll mix these cards up. You'll shuffle these cards, and then you're going to put each one under one of these numbered cards down here in the middle. Now at this point, there's no communication. So I'm showing here a 5-player game. This game can go up to 6 players, so there's going to be one more cards and a number of players. Each of these cards has a hand gesture with it, which is basically the number of fingers. 6, you just make that symbol, and 7, you just show closed fist. And everyone, without talking to each other, is trying to guess which of these nobody put in the middle. So for me, well, everyone votes. I say 2. And then once everyone puts out their fingers, then you start going through the cards. Who put this card down? I'm like, I did. Okay, great. Who put this card down? No one raised their hand. This is the card from the top of the deck. Each person that picked it, we score 1 sheet point here. And that's it. The card itself then is taken and placed here. And when this fills up, everyone loses. So there's 6 cards there. If that fills up, you lose. Or if the sheep reaches 15, you win. If every single person picks the card that the computer played, then you don't put the card here. So that's like an ultimate thing. I've not seen that happen, but it can happen. And then you discard the cards, give everyone a new one, start the next round. That's how you play. All right, here's my annual thing I always say, or my thing. I hate tins. I don't know why people like tins. They look nice, but they get dented very easily. You can't stack other boxes on top of them on your shelf. I just hate tins. Okay, so there's that. What'd you think about the artwork on the cards?
Oh, it was great. I like the shading and like the colors.
Do you think it's like very similar to Dixit?
I don't really remember it too well.
I remember the cat
Sure.
one.
It's a little different than Dixit, actually, folks, because I think with this huge stack of cards here, these little cards, they say things like bank and heights and station and detective and club. That's weird. Wood, book, market, money, spring, key, rocket. And many times the things these say are actually on the cards. You know, one time we got the word giant and someone had a giant hand. So I think I like to mix cards up from game to game. Like I have a big deck of cards that you can use for Dixit or Mysterium or Detective Club or Muse. These games all use the same cards. But I wonder if I should keep these cards in this game. Anyway, that being said, what did y'all think of the game?
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was interesting about like putting down cards, especially if you didn't have any cards that match with the theme. Then at that point, you're gonna have to be like, grass. I see one green thing in the corner over there. Let's just put that down.
Right. I mean, there's definitely, when you're stuck with a card. And what happens when you put down a card that doesn't seem to match?
Everyone's gonna pick it.
And then what are they going to do?
Fail.
No, they're going to yell at you, as Violet did all through the games. I'm not sure Violet's a cooperative game player.
Just.
What are you talking about? Now, and it's also very possible this game, and it did not happen in any of the games we played, but it's very possible that the card you flip over could match perfectly. The one from the deck. It could happen. If you put space, let's say the word space, and the card has a rocket ship in space, nobody's going to pick that card. Right?
Yeah. For some reason, you guys were confused because there's like, oh, he's underwater. And I told you guys, look, there's literally outer space in the water. It's so clearly obvious. And you all.
Oh, your card?
Oh, was it
Yes.
very clearly obvious?
Yes.
If I
There
was,
was planets.
if I was wearing binoculars.
I looked at the color palette and was like, oh yeah, space. Yes.
So that's definitely the kind of arguments you'll have over the course of the game because somebody's not going to have one. We had a long argument in our game when someone played someone fishing in the desert and the word was sea, and I thought, well, clearly that means sea because the sea used to be
And
there.
I saw a desert.
But there's a guy fishing, therefore, why would you?
It was literally in the corner. How are
Okay.
you supposed to see that fishing
Let me
rod?
talk about the game. I have to say, this heavily resembles Detective Club. The only difference is that the person you're trying to pick the fake is not a player, and you don't get to pick the theme. I personally say those are the only differences from these
You're
games.
also-
Well, you're not
Together.
lying, though. There's no communication in this one. You're not allowed to
yeah.
talk. The communication happens when everyone starts screaming after the cards are picked.
You all made fun of Jimmy for picking that rocket ship and fire. And was I the only one who saw the flame at the end of the rocket ship? I understood his thought process perfectly, but apparently nobody else did.
Well, fire isn't normally in space, Ruby.
And it was in the picture.
Yeah, so if you like that sort of thing, this game is for you. Yeah, it's definitely different. I don't like it, just straight up. I don't like it as much as Dixit Detective Club.
Yeah.
I don't like Mysterium, so take that out of the mix. But I like Detective and Dixit because I like to be able to talk as time goes through. This one, there's no talking and it's cooperative. I also think a game gets slightly easier with more players because there's more possibility that people will pick the right answer. Of course, there's also the possibility that less people will because there's more cards out there. So I don't know if you should take that to the bank. But I enjoyed it, though. It's a fun experience. And if nothing else, these cards can go into Dixit and Detective Club. More cards,
Yeah.
yay. But what's your final thoughts here?
I actually liked it quite a bit because of how similar it was to Dixon Detective Club. I think the point system was a bit too high, otherwise we just sucked.
We won one of our games.
One.
Well,
Overall, probably a 7.
a 7? All right.
I enjoyed this game. I really like party games like this. As Ruby said, the point system was a bit annoying, but it was enjoyable nonetheless. So I'm also gonna give it a 7.
Well, guess what? 777, because I am also giving it a 7. It's a solid game. It's fun. It's interesting, and it's also very quick. It's not going to probably go more than 6 rounds. It might go 7 if you all get lucky and pick the winning card. And even then, you'll probably win the game before then. So about 6 rounds or less. That's pretty fast. So it's when you're done, you'll be like, well, let's play it again. Fast, simple, fun art. It kind of feels like a Dixit variant, which I think is fine. So that's how do you say this again?
Just Oneironauts.
Oneironauts. You pick your own pronunciation.
There you go. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassel,
I'm Violet.
And I'm Ruby.
and no one can pronounce this.
Oneironauts.